comics for about 6 years, and superheroes were always a really big part of my childhood. So I think that it makes a lot of sense that as an adult I would continue this fascination and collection. I have with me here about maybe a third of my comic book collection, and I've picked out a couple books that I thought you might enjoy, and then if you want to check them out yourself, you definitely can. So these are some of the ones that I've picked out. Put these ones aside for now. I keep some of my comics in this really nice plastic wrapping to protect them. Eventually, I would want to have all of my comics in wrapping because it protects them, keeps them clean and free of dust, and it just looks nicer on a shelf as well, if you keep them on a shelf. So this issue is an Old Birds of Prey from 2011, and I really love this cover. This cover is done by an artist that goes by the name of Artgerm. That's just a pen name, but it's most recognizable. I love the way that this artist does all of the tones, all of the shading. I think that it's so lovely, and of course this is a very steamy image. I really liked the pre-52 Birds of Prey, so I ended up buying quite a few issues of that. This is another one that I have in the plastic wrapping. It's Avengers vs. X-Men, and I won this comic as a prize at the Avengers vs. X-Men release party. I don't read a lot of Avengers or even X-Men myself, but it was a very fun release party, and I was very pleased to be a winner of one of these prizes. I wanted to share this with you because I absolutely love the current Wonder Woman run. It's amazing. Cliff Chiang did this cover, and he does a lot of the covers, and I love it because it says Watch the Throne, which I'm sure some of you will catch the reference there. The colors that Cliff does are amazing. It almost can't be beat. Definitely one of my favorite artists, and his work on Wonder Woman is the best I've ever seen her. This is an issue of Batgirl, and this is pre-52. This is another Artgerm cover. I tend to, like I said before, buy a lot of comics that Artgerm does the covers of because I just love his art so much. This Batgirl issue features Stephanie Brown, who's my favorite Batgirl, and I love this cover because it's so dynamic and the lighting is amazing. The inside is a little bit less great. It's not quite as nice. Very simple. Not necessarily nearly as beautiful as the cover, but still acceptable. I think that the writers for Batgirl did an amazing job at really capturing her character. They really understand Stephanie. This is another issue of Batgirl, and this cover is done by Dustin Nugent. And I love Dustin's work so much. He actually did the inside, the line art too, and everything, which is very lovely. His use of watercolors in combination with digital art is always an absolute treat. Just incredible work. I love his stuff. And not to make a habit of this, but I had to show this cover because it's, in my opinion, one of the most amazing comic book covers I've ever seen. Another Artgerm piece. But look at this cover. So incredible. The rain hitting her suit. And we have Stephanie's typical little spunky smirk. Very typical of her personality. Again, very simple inside, which can be disappointing for some, but they did a very good job with this run, and I sincerely miss Stephanie Brown as Batgirl. Another art term cover. This was not intentional by any means. This is another Birds of Prey cover, excuse me. We have lots of the, characters here, and I just liked the simplicity of this cover. This is an older issue of Teen Titans Pre-52 from September 2011. And I loved Teen Titans. Well, I still do, but the current Teen Titans is not necessarily my favorite. But I love Pre-52. I'm going to open this up and show you just a few pages. As you can see, the art in the inside is just incredible. Here we have Rose Wilson. I love her so much. Lots of advertisements, of course. Wonder Girl. Oh, here she is, in all her splendor. A very lovely issue. If you have a chance to check out Teen Titans, the Pre-52 Teen Titans, you really should. It's an amazing run, and I loved what they did with it. Just put it back in the plastic here. Here's another cover of Wonder Woman, another Cliff Chiang cover. Just wanted to show you all of the amazing work he does. The current run of Wonder Woman is very dark. There's a lot of, mythology and gods and things like that, but it's very dark. Not necessarily good for kids to be reading, but great for us. And they had a different artist for a little while, and they're back to Cliff Chiang doing the inside pages once again. But as you can see, very dark. But I feel like they really have captured Diana in a way that no one else has. So definitely worth checking out. As I said before, I don't really read X-Men, but of course I had to pick this issue up. Some people said that it was a publicity stunt, and even if it was, I had to have it because I just think it was such a great decision on their part. And this issue is all about the wedding. Well, not completely, but most of it. The art's pretty good on the inside too. I said I don't follow this run, but that was just a little guilty pleasure for me. Batwoman. So this is a 0 issue, and it came out in January 2011. Now Batwoman is probably my favorite DC character, so I collect most of the things that she's in. I have almost every issue she's been in. I think I'm missing 2 or 3, but I have almost everything she's been in because I love her so much. The art in Batwoman is uncomparable. It's just incredible. the use of panels is amazing. It's very untraditional, the direction of which they use. As you can see, very unconventionally, there's not a lot of straight line panels. This is a great page too, just beautiful artwork. Amazing. And the thing that makes it so great is that they use a mix of traditional media with digital work to give a very, very stunning effect. And it's very poignant. You know, it stays with you. And with Batwoman books, you find yourself staring at the page longer than you would normally with a comic book because you're so entranced by the artwork. Like, this is amazing, this mirror image here. Just incredible. Anyway, very lovely. This is Batgirl's current run, and this cover is done by Adam Hughes, which admittedly has a lot to do with why I bought it, because I don't really love the current run of Batgirl. I prefer Barbara Gordon as Oracle. I feel that that's just where she thrives and where she's at her most magnificent. So, but I wanted to support, you know, female lead comics, so I did buy a few of these. I don't really care for the art on the inside too much. At times it feels very static, but I will admit the coloring is very lovely. All in all, it's entertaining, but I'm not sure that the writers really understand Barbara's character, and at times it can feel like they're trying to make her a little too similar to Stephanie Brown, but it's still very enjoyable. This is a little look back into my childhood. One of the first comics that I ever bought in my entire life, with my own money too, that I saved up. I was very into Teen Titans at the time, so you can imagine my glee when I came across this in a vintage store. It was still probably $15, but I had to have it because I loved Raven so much. I should probably put this one in clear backing. I'm not sure why I don't have it in that. It's very old. Very, very old. In fact, I'm not even sure the exact date on this. But as you can see, very, very old. It says July 1982. So, very old indeed. You have to be very precious with the pages. This is Raven's origin story. Talks a lot about her family and how the other Teen Titans don't understand her and what she's going through and her relationship with her father. The paper is very different. It's interesting to see the difference of new glossy pages compared to this very textury paper. There are probably people wincing that I'm touching this with my fingers because, as you know, there's oil on our fingertips, but to tell the truth, this is more of a sentimental piece for me than it is collector's. Although it's still in literally mint condition almost. There are no creases anywhere, not even any shelfware. Absolute mint condition. I really should put some plastic on this. Oh, I'll do that soon. Next, I have an old issue of Birds of Prey from 2005. I love this cover because we have Oracle in all her splendor, looking absolutely fabulous, with her wheelchair and her computer and the all-seeing eye that is Oracle. She just looks so fabulous here and so strong. I love it. The inside's pretty funny too. This is probably one of my favorite pages in comics, and of course you have to understand that this as well was one of the first comics that I ever bought when I was much younger. So to see a page like this was just so fabulous. Huntress, beating up a guy who would call her not very nice things. Just amazing. I loved it so much. And you know, there's Black Canary and everybody in here. It's very good. Another pretty old issue, but very good nonetheless. And of course, another Artgerm cover. This is another great cover. Very dynamic. I love Stephanie Brown. I have a lot of her books. I only have a few trade issues of her. I tended to buy the singles as they were coming out, which I guess speaks to my devotion of her. She's so great. I love her. Another issue of Batwoman. I'm going to take this one out because the inside is so beautiful. This is a bit of an origin story. It's called 7 Years Ago. And it was part of Batwoman's run on Detective Comics. There was a little span of time where Detective Comics were mostly about Kate Kane. This is just so incredible, the artwork in here, because it goes back and forth from extremely dynamic, extremely bold graphic pieces. And then a few pages later, we get these highly painted pieces, very jagged and yet very smooth, so realistic, so beautifully rendered. And again, we have this amazing use of panels that makes Batwoman very significant. And then we go back to the graphicness. And the reason that they did this was to show the significance of different periods in Kate Kane's life. And as you can see, as Kate Kane is herself, we have a certain drawing style. And as Kate Kane is Batwoman, it's very different. And I think that they did this to highlight the differences in Kate Kane's life and the dual lives that she leads. So that's just a few single issues. And now I would like to talk to you about some trade issues. This book has had a little hard for wear. I've lent it out a lot. In fact, I lend my trade issues out a lot because I like to encourage other people to try comics. Sometimes people don't want to buy comics because it can be a little bit of an investment. So for them to read something and they don't have to pay for it can be nice. So I like to lend people comics as long as I know that I'll get it back in one piece. So this one is called Kicking Assassins, and it features Cassandra Cain as Batgirl. It's a bit older, so we don't have those glossy pages. Once again, we have very papery, very textural. It's a lot about Cassandra's childhood. It's a lot about her growing as a fighter. Very good stuff. The art isn't probably the best I've ever seen. And you can see here, there's a lot of Rose Wilson stuff in here too. But the art is still adequate, and I think it's a really entertaining read. It tells a lot about Cassandra's character. So if you like Cassandra Cain, or you want to learn more about her, you should definitely check out Kicking Assassins. The next book I want to talk to you about is called Batman Hush. Easily one of my favorite graphic novels because it features so many Gotham characters. There's Harley Quinn, the Huntress, Killer Croc, everybody. Poison Ivy. And it's a great mystery. So if you like mysteries, this would be a great book for you. It's quite long, very thick. It can take you a couple nights to read it. But like I said, it involves so many characters, almost everybody. So if you like Batman, if you like a lot of the Gotham characters, this would be a great book for you to check out. The next book that I would like to talk to you about will be Batgirl Rising. this is a trade issue of Stephanie Brown's run. I think that this covers Phil Noto. Yes, it is. His style's almost, you know, it's very recognizable, so that's why I recognized it. I love Phil Noto's work. So, very bold front page. Glossy pages once again. The inside line work and stuff is pretty standard. But I love this trade because it features Oracle and Batgirl working together. As we know, Stephanie Brown came up under Oracle, and she learned so much from her. I love seeing the two of them work together. It's just wonderful. This is a good one to check out if you're thinking about getting into Batgirl. It's called Batgirl Rising. Ironically, she's falling or leaping from a burning building. Very lovely. This one is called Gotham City Sirens, and the trade issue is called Union. Now, Gotham City Sirens is an extremely cheesecakey, very kitschy, very, you know, it's not really something you should take seriously, although I think it's super campy and fun, and I loved it. I mean, Gilliam March did almost all of the covers for the Gotham City Sirens series, and I love Gilliam March's work, even if it does tend to be a little, like, hypersexualized. It's so beautiful. So lovely. And I love girl team-up teams. Like, I just love, you know, these villains working together as a team. I loved the way Harley Quinn was written in this book. I loved the way Selena was written. It's very, very fun. And, you know, just so entertaining. And the art is amazing, amazing. Because especially for the first 8 issues, the line art is all done by Gilliam March. And, like I said, just incredible. Very, very beautiful work. Definitely worth checking out. I only own one trade issue of this because I own every other issue in single issues. But I think it's worth getting the trades, especially because you can often find them on Amazon for relatively cheap. And they are just a hoot. So much fun. Very fun read. The last book that I want to talk to you about before I bid you goodnight is Batwoman Elegy. Now, if you've ever read anything I talk about on my blog before about comics, I'm sure that you will have heard me talk about this. This is my favorite graphic novel in the whole world. I can't even really explain it. We have Greg Rucka working with J.H. Williams III on this Batwoman book. And words cannot even describe how much it means to me. This book has seen better days because I lend it out so much. In fact, this particular book has probably been read by at least 20 different people. But it's so incredible, so beautiful. If you take any recommendation from me, it should be to buy this. This is worth every penny. In fact, this book is the only book, graphic novel anyway, that has been able to lead me to tears. It is so powerful, so beautiful. Very beautiful artwork. And once again, we see the amazing use of panels, all pointing to this direction. Beautiful work. I don't want to spoil too much of it for you. But like I said, it made me cry, and it's amazing. And you should definitely think about checking this one out. Anyways, that's all I've got for you tonight. Thank you so much for letting me spend this time with